Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and my next video. This is my first story of what I'm calling my supernatural story series. I'm guessing there's probably 25 to 30 of them altogether, but I'm going to start with my favorite one because this has to do with a family member who passed away long before I was born. But strangely enough, someone that I always felt close to, if that makes any sense at all. And someone who I wished I had known. So in any event, here we go. I don't understand how I was able to do what I did. I don't know actually where our thoughts come from. But I would love to hear your comments, your thoughts, your questions, or if you've had similar things happen to you, I would be really interested to hear. So this happened about 20 years ago. Gosh, I'm 69 now. So yeah, 20 years ago. And I was visiting an aunt of mine who I had only recently reconnected with. And so I'm just going to read you the story instead of telling it because I think I wrote it better than I can repeat it. So here we go. Have you ever tried to tell someone about something so amazing and seemingly impossible, only for them to shake their head in disbelief, or worse, even laugh? And to the very core of your being, you know it to be true, yet they don't believe you? Would that make you feel somehow different, or worse, misunderstood? For years, I received those very reactions whenever I told my amazing true occurrences. For years, I decided to keep them to myself. However, recently, I changed my mind. I plan to write down all of my true stories and compile them into a book. I figure if no one believes me, so what? Perhaps in years to come, science will discover explanations. The story I'm going to tell you now is unique and is quite different from all the rest. It involves suddenly knowing something by merely holding a physical object. It wasn't anything I tried to do or even something I believed in, yet it happened just as I am telling you this story now. I was visiting my elderly aunt, and she'd placed a box of old family photos on the floor. Delighted to see my relatives' faces from over 100 years ago, I marveled at each one until a photo of my great-grandmother caught my eye. I held the framed photo and studied her expression, and suddenly I was drawn in by her sly smile and wise eyes. Without even thinking, I blurted to my aunt, "I think there's another photo behind this one." I need to mention I had never taken apart photo frames before, nor have I felt such compelling urgency to do so at that very moment. It was as if that knowledge came from someone else, like someone whispering in my ear, "Barbara, look." My aunt frowned, shook her head, and said, "I don't know, I've kept that photo for years, and no one's ever taken it apart, but if you want to, go ahead." So I bent back the tiny clips, and when I slid out the backing, another photo slid out. It was of a young, handsome man looking directly into the camera. My aunt gasped in surprise and shook her head. "I have no idea who he is." Yet I knew somehow he'd been a special someone in my great-grandmother's life. I looked again into the photograph and into her eyes, and suddenly felt an overpowering connection. But what I knew I'd never tell my aunt. My great-grandmother had told me of that photo. Now I know that's wild, but it's true. How could it happen? It couldn't possibly be true. All I can say is that it did. And this is what I think. I believe energy exists after we physically depart this earth. I believe my great-grandmother's life energy was embedded within that photo, and through that energy our thoughts connected. Perhaps I inherited her gift of sensitivity and she wanted to share her secret with me. Whoever the young man was, I believe, she hid his photo behind hers, and it has been there for more than 100 years until she told me to find it. So there has to be life after death, or some kind of residual energy left behind. Connections can occur between minds, which are still either on Earth or not. But if you don't believe me, that's okay. I have nothing to gain by sharing what happened. I just wonder why these things so often happen to me, or why I'm so different. Perhaps I feel energy more strongly than others, but I do know this. There is more to our world beyond our five senses, with incredible possibilities surrounding us every day. I think all we need to do is listen. Isn't that amazing? I think there's a word for that when you touch an object and you suddenly gain knowledge. But honestly, to me it was like a bolt of lightning had struck into my brain. Like she was reaching out to me from wherever she was, telling me to look. And my aunt had had that photo for over 50 years. And it was 50 years old when she had it. And no one had ever taken that photo apart. Isn't that amazing? So, I just know, I don't know. I've never done anything similar to that since. I'm tempted to try it, but I'm almost afraid to because I think it's going to work. So I'm holding back because of that. And I know it's kind of stupid, but isn't that wild? So anyway, I have many more like this. They're all true. They're all amazing. And I would love to hear what you guys think of it. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone.